Dwayne Duggan, Remax Boulder video podcast. Today we have a special guest from Children's Miracle Network, Casey Thomas. Casey's a manager with Children's Miracle Network, so we're excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So I've been with Remax a long time, Remax International, and I know that Remax International has been a supporter of Children's Miracle Network, I think, for about 25 years now.
That's correct.
And it does warm my heart that we are a part of something so cool as what you do with Children's Miracle Network. And a couple things in my mind that stick out is I know when I go to Remax International headquarters, there's a bench out front with a couple of kids playing on it, and it was the milestone of $100 million that Remax agents across the globe have given to Children's Miracle Network. And now, Casey, I think you just told me that Remax International agents across the globe have given close to $150 million to Children's Miracle Network. So,
yes, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's start out by telling everybody what Children's Miracle Network is and why $150 million has been raised just from Remax International to give to Children's Miracle Network.
Sure, yeah. So Children's, it's a big question, but Children's Miracle Network Hospitals is a national organization. There are 170 member hospitals across the United States and Canada. We go up north into Canada. And they're all pediatric hospitals or have pediatric facilities. And we cover the base in our Denver market for our CMN market. We cover all of Colorado, all of Wyoming, and the western half of Nebraska. So we're a huge market, but we treat kids from all of those regions, as well as we sort of stretch into a 7-state region. So because we have the facility that we do in the level 1 trauma facility,
Right.
We end up seeing kids from a lot of different states. So.
Okay, well, I understand Children's Hospital is the recipient of Miracle Funds in Colorado, and it's the only one in Colorado. So can you tell me a little bit why Children's Hospital is the chosen one, if you will?
Yeah, the coolest part about CMN is they choose hospitals on a local level so that every fund that they raise stays local in the communities that are fundraising, which makes a lot of sense. So anywhere in Colorado or Wyoming or the western half of Nebraska with corporate partners or individual donors, all of that money stays very local to Children's Hospital Colorado so that they know they're helping their own community. That money goes into what we call our Children's Fund, which is the greatest area of need in the hospital. That's determined by our medical staff and our executive leadership, and it could cover anything from family-centered care, research, education. We're affiliated with the University of Colorado at Anschutz, so we are a teaching hospital, so we do a lot of research, a lot of shadowing, and a lot of education over in that kind of realm, and we end up coming out with some miraculous studies and finds that end up really helping our pediatric beds there. So it could go to any kind of one of those things, and what my favorite part about that is when Remax agents or any one of our partners comes into our facility, they can look around and say, I could have helped with any part of this hospital. I could have helped with this equipment or these toys or this family playroom or kind of really whatever, maybe some behind the scenes stuff, but it goes to whatever's really in the greatest need at that time.
Okay. One of the things that's so moving at the Remax International Convention is they usually have one of the Children's Miracle Network's kids come up on stage.
And Angelica Hale was there this year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it is so moving seeing these kids, but I guess my question is like, when people donate, how can they be assured that the donation is getting to something that's really used for those kids that really move you on stage? So.
They do, yes, and I appreciate your emotion on that because I feel the same way. We make sure that 100% of the donations that we get from any partner stay to the hospital locally. So that enables us to treat more kids more frequently with better equipment and better research. And in the end, kind of circle of life, we end up being able to bring people like Angelica Hale to the R4 convention. And
yeah, she was totally amazing.
She's incredible. And so each market each Children's Miracle Network market has a champion. So Colorado has a champion. We are one of the markets that, because we're so geographically large, we have two. We have one that represents Wyoming and one that represents Colorado, and they are amazing kids, and I am blown away all the time when I meet all these kids.
It's pretty cool.
Ugh.
So Remax Boulder is a what they call a miracle office. Can you say a little bit about what that is and how maybe other Remax offices might choose to become part of that program?
They should. It's a big deal. It's really exciting. So the way the system works is that the Miracle System allows Remax agents to contribute part of their closing check as a donation to the hospital. And then as far as when totals come around, when an agent raises $500 or more in a calendar year, or if an office raises $2,000 or more in a calendar year, they become either a miracle agent or a miracle office.
Okay.
And that's a really big deal, because that way we've known that the commitment is there and it's not just kind of a one-time $25 donation, which is still very greatly appreciated, but
Sure.
they've been recurring donors for a long time. And as an office, to have that community come together, that's a big deal for us. So Remax of Boulder reached out to me, I want to say in mid-April, and asked kind of about the idea of the Miracle Office. And by early June, even late May, I would say, they were already achieved that status.
Right.
So it was
Fantastic.
a really exciting thing. Yeah, I was so excited to come down and present them with the certificate. And so any office can be a Miracle Office. You just get involved with the Miracle system and start doing those agent transactions. And it's pretty simple, pretty user-friendly. But yeah, it's a very exciting title to have.
Yeah,
Great
fantastic.
achievement.
So Remax isn't the only partner that Children's Miracle Network has. So are there other corporate partners in the Boulder area that help you out?
Yes, nationwide we have 98 corporate partners, so
Wow.
it's quite a
Okay.
list.
Right.
Obviously, it'll depend on the region based on where you are and,
Okay.
and which partners are active. But in the Boulder area, we have a couple Dairy Queens, Rite Aid, Chico's, the Dance Marathon event that happens with our college programs. They're starting one up at CU Boulder, which is really exciting.
Okay.
They've had one in the past. We have Marriott's that are really active here. We have a couple different corner store locations that are connected to Valero's that like to fundraise for us. So we have a lot of different varieties of partners. It's not necessarily just retail or just restaurants. It's kind of all over the board. So we're really lucky to
Okay.
have that community.
So if a business wants to get involved and become a partner, how do they find out about the details on that?
It's actually, what makes us a little bit different as Children's Miracle Network is that our national office based in Salt Lake City determines our corporate partners on a national level.
Gotcha.
And then we
Okay.
just incorporate them on a local scale.
Okay. All right.
But they could obviously go to them easily, and
Right.
I'd be happy to work with them.
So donations are obviously important to the
Mhm.
hospital. Any ideas on promoting to the public how they can donate to the hospital?
There's a lot of ways. You can go online. That's one of the easiest ways.
Okay.
We can send out the link to our online website. It's a Children's Hospital Colorado specific site for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which sounds complex, but I promise it's fairly simple to navigate. But they can go online and do it that way. They can look for any of those corporate partners that I mentioned. Usually you'll be able to see the CMN balloon icon and do it that way. You can start fundraising with your schools and contact me about how to do it that way. Lots of different varieties to do it. And then obviously, if you wanted to buy a home, look for a local Remax agent and
Right.
do it that way. which
Well, and
is
along those
fantastic.
lines, I know some of the agents that are really actively involved will get sign writers that say it's a miracle home, so they let the
Yes.
public know that maybe a bit of the commission is going to Children's Miracle Network when that house sells. So that's pretty good.
Yes, those are popular.
Anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't covered that you wanted to say about Children's Miracle Network?
I
Sure.
just want to say thank you
Okay.
to you guys. You have been fantastic. And again, it's been an honor watching you reach that Miracle Office status so quickly. And it was so great to work with you and keep being involved with you. I did a Band on
Yeah.
the Bricks event with you guys. So
Fantastic.
thank you.
So if somebody's interested in checking out the information about Children's Miracle Network and possibly making a donation, there is a website,
There is.
which has got a long address, so we'll show it on the screen for you. So it'll be there for you if you'd like to do that. So Casey, thanks a bunch for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You
This
bet.
has been great.
Dwayne Duggan, Remax of Boulder Video Podcast, signing out.